Hey, you're watching Vinyl 4 Miles, your best resource for music, audio gear, and vinyl reviews. Today we're checking out some awesome customized powered Bluetooth speakers from Rubyyoung. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Michael. What we do here is audio gear, vinyl reviews, music reviews, guitar gear, pretty much anything having to do with my hobbies. I'm on top of it. I'm gonna bring you content. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification while you're at it so you get notified when I release new videos. All right, diving into today's video, we are featuring Rubyyoung. If you've not heard of Rubyyoung, I haven't either. They reached out to me, said, hey Michael, we saw some of your videos, some of your Sonos videos, your other Bluetooth and amp videos. We wanted to see if you want to check out one of our Bluetooth speakers. After a few back and forths and checking out their website, I said, yes, why don't you go ahead and send one my way? Purely because this looks like a guitar amp. I've never seen a Bluetooth speaker look like this. Look online, go on Amazon, type in Bluetooth speaker, they all look the same. This stands out. Not only does it look cool, looks like a guitar amp, but you can put customizable artwork on the grill here. So you can literally make this an art piece in your living room. So what Rubyyoung sent me was this blue suede edition, which is their R830, and they also sent me this white leather version of their R630. Now the difference between these two models, the R830 has a maximum peak power ampage of 240 watts, while the R630 has a 140 watt max. Now, when I talk about wattage, that is not an equal comparison to volume. Just because this speaker here is 240 watts and that this one is 140 watts, doesn't mean that this speaker is twice as loud. It'll project better, it might have some more bottom end, and there is definitely a lot more power and current going to the subwoofers and the speakers just in general on this model here, but that does not mean that this is gonna be twice as loud as this model. Now, before we dive into the technical specifications, the demo, and then my final thoughts and review of these speakers, I wanna give a huge shout out to Enjoy the Ride Records, which is our featured spotlight today. If you're not familiar with Enjoy the Ride Records, you better make yourself familiar with them. They were all about the nostalgia factor. They specialize in movie soundtracks and video game soundtracks. So the first thing that they sent me is the Hugo soundtrack. The score is done by Howard Shore, and what we get with this custom edition is this is 1 of 500, brand new artwork that's on here. It is a gatefold. Sides A and B are on this really rich gold pressing here, and it's kind of a metallic gold if you look at it. It has a really cool shimmer, and you do get Hugo labels on the front and the back. Side C and D actually come on transparent blue. So here's what it looks like, transparent. And the best part is that they come in poly-lined sleeves. And what's cool is this is actually the first time this soundtrack has been available on vinyl. It is the 10th anniversary of the film. The second album I'm going to be featuring from Enjoy the Ride is the Cube soundtrack. What I have here is Transparent Red. This is 1 of 400. If you have not seen Cube, it is a sci-fi horror classic. I believe this came out in like the late or mid 90s. And it's really cool that this is being pressed on vinyl. It's worth noting, again, here are those polyline sleeves. It does come on this transparent red. And then you do get the Cube custom door label on the back here. What we have on the front is the original movie poster, and then when you flip it over, there is some custom artwork that is on the back. If you go to enjoytheriderecords.com, you can check out all the different variants that this comes in. Now that we have the featured spotlight out of the way and the music selection for this video, why don't we dive into the technical specifications of this speaker. All right, so the first thing you're gonna notice is the construction on these speakers is top-notch, and I would say they're on par with combo amplifiers if you're a guitarist. If you're not a guitarist, this has a wood housing on it, has aluminum faceplate on it. It's just very premium materials. You have a leather handle here. You have aluminum corner protectors that they put on each side of the outer case of the speaker. And not only that, it has a customizable grill in the front. So why don't we go ahead and pop off the grill. And just look how beautiful the drivers and the tweeters look on this thing. You do get 4 speakers total here, and what this does is it actually separates your stereo signal, so you get a left and a right, a really good sound mix, and this definitely projects. So going back to the top, like I mentioned, we do have an aluminum faceplate. This dial here on the left-hand side is going to be handling your play modes. So you do have an ambient, you have a hi-fi, and an outdoor setting. Now, while we're going over the technical specifications, it's worth noting this is not a light speaker. And it is not a battery powered speaker. You have to plug this in. So if you're bringing this, for an outdoor event, make sure you have ample battery power, or make sure you have a really good extension cable and a power outlet to plug it into. It does weigh 16 pounds, so this is not going to be the world's lightest travel speaker. However, it has a very nice leather handle on top, and if you're a musician like me and you're used to carrying gear around, literally no sweat off my back to lug this around if I'm going to a hotel or to a friend's house. Now we do get two 5.25 inch woofers on here, and they are fiberglass woven woofers. Then we do get 1 inch, we get two of them, silk spherical tweeters. The frequency division type on this is active dual DSP, and the rated power on the R830, like I mentioned, does have a peak power 240 watts. The standard power though is 120. Now the frequency response on this is going to be 50 hertz all the way down to 20 kilohertz. And what comes in the box is the speaker, you get one grill, and you get your power cable and a manual. That's pretty much it. No extra auxiliary cables or anything like that. And you do not get a customized grill cloth included with the standard speaker. You do have to custom order those. Now, when we go over to the R630, all of the technical specifications, including the weight that I just went over, are the same. However, this is geared towards larger rooms, like a living room or outdoor space. It has a lot more punch to it, and it's going to be a more powerful, energetic mix. Now, the 630 is going to be a little more warm, so for like classical music or classic rock, stuff like that, and it's more geared towards medium-sized rooms. Speaking of premium components and materials, this blue suede edition I have here is actually made of Alcantara suede fabric, which is really high-end. And when you feel this, very nice quality. They have some white stitching that goes across the front. They have these nice polished kind of matte aluminum corner protectors on here. Overall, this thing just screams high-end and screams high fidelity. A very low distortion, true hi-fi sound, and they use true hi-fi components with the speakers. However, they don't list the specifications of the speakers or the types or stuff like that, so you kind of have to just take their word for it. But after listening to this, it definitely is comprised of high-quality parts and components. Now, it is worth noting, this is made and constructed in China. So this is not a American made or European made or Czech Republic or anything like that. It is made in China, but I would call this hi-fi, hi-fi China. It's still a very quality product. Now, both these speakers feature Bluetooth 5.1, so your connectivity, your reliability, and some of those higher res file formats are gonna come through no issue. I was able to walk around my house, even go into other rooms, and I did not lose my connectivity to the speaker, which is great. My phone remembered it, connecting to it was a breeze. And the cool thing about this is the stereo separation, so if you're watching a movie or if you're listening to music where you're used to that stereo field being separated, a lot of other combo Bluetooth speakers do not do that. They do not separate the left and right channels, so it's really nice that you get that stereo separation on this. All right, so now that we've checked out all the components, the features and specifications on the front, let's see what's on the back of the speaker. All right, so here we have the back of the speaker. This is all comprised of aluminum. This is, I believe, some kind of composite plastic here, but the panel itself is aluminum. We have Rubyyoung high-powered Bluetooth hi-fi speaker, and then we go into our inputs over here and our outs. So we do have on the far left side an analog out. That is awesome that they include an analog out. I'm gonna go over that in just a second. Next to that, we do have our auxiliary in, so you can use a 3.5 millimeter cable, listen to your music from your phone, from other sources. And then we have an optical in. An optical is gonna give you some of the highest quality audio possible with this speaker. Now next to that, we do have the on and off switch, which I currently have it off, but really easy to do, switch on, switch off, and then we have a detachable power cable. The cool thing is that this is fully customizable. When I was having my communication with Rubyyoung, I let them know, hey, I'm a graphic designer, and what I wanna do is send you a custom design, get it printed so it matches this blue suede. And what I came up with was I took some of Alex Gray, if you guys are familiar with Tool, he's done pretty much 90% of Tool's artwork. I took 3 of his paintings and I combined them into one. I changed the color and the hue on this to match the speaker fabric. And what I get is just this awesome psychedelic looking speaker grill. It's a work of art. Like, you could stick this in your living room, in your office, and it just is a statement on its own. But here's the cool thing. If I'm not really in the psychedelic mood and I want something different, you can order as many grills as you want. All you have to do is pull on this little fabric tab, the grill comes off, and you can replace it. They sent me this really cool wave artwork on here, so if I wanted to have this in my office, like this matches as well, or I can swap it for something a little more provocative. This is the one that actually they have on their website. I'm really not sure what this painting is, but it looks really cool, and it does look very high-end. So the possibilities for the artwork that you can include on this speaker is literally endless, and you can send them your own pictures of your family, your own custom artwork, your own designs. they can print anything you can send to them. All right, so now that we got all of the technical specifications and features out of the way, why don't we just go over a quick sound demo on how to turn this thing on, how to operate it, and my opinion on the speaker. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is power on the speaker. You get a nice little musical note there that it's turned on. So to pair this to my phone, you press the pairing button right here. So press and hold it. It is now in pairing mode. This little Bluetooth button here is going to start flashing red. Go on your phone, open up your Bluetooth preferences, and look for Rubyyoung. That little indicator that you just heard lets me know that I am connected. So I'm going to turn the volume on my phone down, and I'm going to open up Tidal, and we're going to listen to some master quality audio. So the first thing I demoed with this is Spiritbox. I just saw them live, so I'm kind of listening to them a lot. I noticed with Metal, this speaker sounds really good in hi-fi mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a song for you guys real quick. I get some nice clarity on here, the bass is thumping, and then we do hear those nice highs coming through. So I was on hi-fi mode. What I'm gonna do now is play the song again. I'm gonna switch through each mode. Hopefully my microphone can pick it up for you guys and you can tell the difference. This is outdoor mode, hi-fi mode, ambient mode. Real subtle differences, but hi-fi, you're gonna get a lot more punch and bass. When you go to outdoor, those tweeters are gonna kick in and give you a lot more highs that can project farther. And then when you go to ambient mode, that's gonna kind of pull down the bass a little bit and bring out a lot more of the mids. Now that's the basis when it comes to the different audio features that are on here. But if you do want to not use Bluetooth, again, this is Bluetooth 5.1, and you want to connect your phone to this and get even higher quality, because you can connect your phone in MQA, master quality audio, is definitely more of a hi-fi application than using Bluetooth. So why don't we go ahead and demo that now. All right, so I connected my phone to the speaker and plugged it into the auxiliary in on the back. And we're gonna go ahead and press the auxiliary button. It'll turn red. Auxiliary mode is actually a little louder than Bluetooth, so I'm turning it down just a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and play some like doom rock, stoner rock. Now with this band, I actually like the outdoor mode better in this smaller room. It kind of brought out more of the mids in the guitar tone. So that was actually kind of interesting, changing between bands and changing between Bluetooth and auxiliary. All right, so the other feature I want to demo to you guys is stacking these two on top of each other and using the auxiliary out, going into the auxiliary in of the other speaker. Let's set that up right now. All right, this looks ridiculous, but it sounds really good. So what I have going on here is I'm connected to the bottom speaker, which is the blue R830. I have the auxiliary out going into the auxiliary in of the R630. You're gonna press the auxiliary button on the R630 and make sure you're on Bluetooth on the R830. You can use two R630s too, you don't have to use two different models. And what I'm gonna do is play the music through my R830 and mix in the second speaker. So let's go ahead and do that. Just the bottom, and then putting them both together. But if you want to spend the money and stack these things together, like, it gets really loud, and it's kind of cool that you can do that. But what's also cool is that you can integrate this into your existing like home audio format. So like if you're having a home theater and you want to just add this as a complementary speaker to your system, it does have that auxiliary in and the auxiliary out. Or if you want to feed the audio optically from this speaker to other speakers or other amps using the auxiliary out, you can literally take the audio signal from the speaker, send it to a whole nother stereo system or different areas or zones in your house. Like, the possibilities are really endless. All right, so what are my final thoughts on the Rubyyoung Bluetooth speaker line? When it comes to customization and personalization, they're getting my highest remarks. Like, this is one of a kind. I've never seen another Bluetooth speaker company to where you get to choose the materials that they're using on the speaker, from leather to suede to other materials. I mean, you get to choose the colors, and you get to choose these customizable grill cloths that you can put on here. And not only that, they're modular. You could swap these out for different artwork. If you're in a depressed mood, you could put one piece of artwork on. If you're happy, put a different one on. So from a customizable and personalization standpoint, they're getting highest remarks for me. They're getting 10 out of 10 on that. Now, when it comes to audio quality, these sound really good. You get two woofers, you get two tweeters, you get stereo separation on this, and it can crank. It can get pretty loud. Now, what do I think of the 3 different audio modes that this has on here? So the audio modes are actually really helpful. Now, I wish that they had app support. If they had app support and I could have an EQ curve that I can customize, they would get remarks that are through the roof from me. But the fact that you only get 3 EQ options, a little bit of a downer, but they're very useful and they actually sound super good, especially hi-fi. What would I rate this with usability? The usability of this speaker is super easy. You get a giant pairing button, the power puts this thing to sleep. It's very obvious what your modes are: auxiliary, Bluetooth, optical. Everything on here is very user intuitive. An idiot can use the speaker. I mean, you can give this to somebody who's never used a piece of audio gear before and they could just read the labels and understand what to do. The only area I would dock points in is the blue version. So the blue version, you get this really cool aluminum front faceplate, but they're using very light print. So I would recommend to Rubyyoung, use like dark blue or dark gray or black so it's easier to read what each one of the buttons say. So what's my conclusion when it comes to this? Well, first, let's talk about the price of this. So let's go with the flagship, highest quality art piece that I have here. I'm gonna call it an art piece because that's what this speaker really is. The R830 in Alcantara Blue, which is that really high quality custom suede. Now, this has a premium price attached to it. This is $749. Is it worth $749? Well, it really depends. It's kind of like the Apple Watch. You know, you can get an Apple Watch for probably 400 bucks, or you can get an Apple Watch for $1,000, right? If you get the titanium watch band with it or the gold watch band, it's gonna bump the price up of that product. But your Apple Watch is exactly the same as the $400 version, you just have the premium components wrapped around it. That's the comparison I would probably use here. So yeah, this normally goes for $549, but it's on a huge blowout sale right now. So hurry over to Rubyyoung's website if you guys wanna grab one of the white ones dirt cheap. If you're into the hi-fi, highest quality materials possible, definitely check out the 830. The R830 has a lot more power behind it too and a lot more punch. I encourage you guys to go check out Rubyyoung's website. The link is in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Do you have a Rubyyoung speaker? Are you looking to get something like this? What do you think of it? What do you think of the quality? What do you think of the customization? I would love to hear from you guys. Until next time, I am Michael. Thank you so much for watching.